The following program contains intimate testimony and details about a murder that some may find uncomfortable or disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
You're watching Retro Cranbrook.
On December 17, 2007, 39-year-old Tammy Ellis was shot as a result of trying to defend a friend. The two witnesses to her murder, on a landline and a cell phone, repeatedly dialed 911 and only received a recorded message. By the time they got through and help finally arrived, it was too late for Tammy. In the weeks following their daughter's death, Don and Betty Mahowski had serious questions about what happened. If 911 had responded sooner, is it possible Tammy would still be alive? Did moving the call center to Kelowna in 2004 break the system? This multi-part series comes from the nearly 4 hours of original videos streamed on Tammy911.com starting in 2008. We're going to go back to the beginning to see if we can find an answer to the question, what went wrong? 911 and the loss of Tammy Ellis, the complete story, starts now.
Dad, please bring 911 back here.
Well, what can you tell us so far about what happened here?
Approximately 11:30 last night, we were called to the house behind me here as a result of a shooting incident. On arrival, police discovered a dead adult female. There were a couple of witnesses to the shooting, and since that time we've been trying to locate the suspect in this matter. Our efforts through the night didn't locate him, so this morning we sent over the bare facts that we had to Crown Counsel. They immediately approved the charge of first-degree murder against the suspect in this matter. And the warrant in the first instance was issued for Cheyenne Learn. He's a 48-year-old Cranbrook resident and known to the police in this area.
Do you know if the suspect and the victim knew each other?
We're pretty sure that they knew each other, but they weren't in a common law or boyfriend-girlfriend relationship.
So you were saying in the first release that he is, because he still has his firearm, still considered armed and dangerous, but you believe it's targeted?
Well, this situation from last night certainly appeared targeted, for sure. We do know that the firearm is still standing, and a person who commits a violent crime, certainly there's propensity to commit another violent act with that weapon or another weapon.
So that means then if someone does know where he is, then what should they do?
Well, I would suggest not confronting this person one-on-one, but do call the police immediately. We would like to take him into custody as soon as possible. And to Cheyenne Learn, if you're listening or see this, I can only encourage you to turn yourself in. We will look for you until we find you.
What else can you say about the people in this residence? Was the victim the homeowner or renter, or what can you say about her?
No, she wasn't the homeowner, and as far as we know, didn't rent there. She is a Cranbrook resident who had moved away, but then had returned to Cranbrook a short while ago.
There were some rumors last night that the suspect actually escaped on a bicycle. Can you confirm that?
I can't confirm that, I'm sorry.
Do you know how old or about how old the woman who was killed is?
I believe she was close to 40 years of age.
And her name is still not going to be released for a bit?
No, we still have one more person to notify as of next of kin.
No, you brought in some help in this investigation from Kelowna?
The Kelowna Major Crime Unit is en route here. They're they haven't arrived in Cranbrook yet, but we expect them in the next hour or two. And it's normal procedure for us to call them in. They are trained specialists in the area of murder investigations.
Maybe a bit of a philosophic question, but we haven't had a murder in Cranbrook for several years. Is it a symptom now that Cranbrook's getting bigger that these things might start to be happening?
Well, I don't want to alarm the public in any way at all. By realizing that this seems to be a focused crime, we can't relate it to, say, somebody just out of control in the area. And I wouldn't really say that it's a direct result of the recent growth in Cranbrook.
Your picture of the suspect isn't a mugshot.
No, it isn't. It's a picture that we obtained from the family, and it's approximately a year old. Unfortunately, it does show him with a cap on, and they didn't have one without. But they say that that's a fairly close resemblance to him.
So the family are cooperating in the investigation then, obviously?
Yes, they have. We've been in contact with them almost from the get-go.
Now you say this fellow is a Cranbrook resident. New to Cranbrook? Do you know how long he might have been in Cranbrook if he's known to the police?
No, he and his family have lived here for many years. I would suggest as far back as 20 to 25 years.
A manhunt has ended in the BC Interior tonight for a murder suspect. Police called to a home in Cranbrook where someone reported hearing gunfire. Inside, police found the lifeless body of a woman and two horrified friends who apparently witnessed her murder.
My girlfriend Tammy and her friend Brandy were in the living room. I was in the bedroom watching TV. I came out to chat with them for a minute because I heard them arguing with Brandy, the girlfriend's friend. Apparently they've been having problems and whatnot. Next thing I know, there's a bang at the door, and this man's standing there with a sawed-off shotgun, and shot my girlfriend, my roommate, my co-worker in my living room. And to make matters worse, when I phoned 911, I was told all operators are busy, please hold. Twice at least.
All emergency operators are busy with other callers. Please do not hang up. Your call will be answered.
He took off right away, but we didn't know if he was coming back. We didn't know if he was still standing there. I went into the bedroom and hid beneath my bed because I'd had a dream previous of hiding there. I don't know why. But I went and hid in my bedroom and constantly called 911 until somebody answered. I know at least twice, maybe more. I'll find out when I get my phone bill because it'll be on my record of how many times I called. But it seemed like an eternity. Tammy was living in here with her big blow-up air mattress. It was a little different arrangement. The little couch was over here, so there wasn't much room between the little couch and her bed. She had gone out and talked to the guy and presumably calmed him down as far as she thought. And she's like, well, shouldn't have no problems with him again tonight. Next thing I know, he's standing where you're standing with a sawed-off shotgun. And no questions asked, nothing barely said, and just pointed at her and shot her. And she fell right here. And there was nothing they could do. And then after the shooting, I went to my bedroom. And you see it's a big tall bed, and it was all messed up. So I pulled this mattress over as far as I could, so I had a little hiding spot here in case he came back. He would maybe think that I was here, but I was in this little space for, it seemed like eternity. And I had the mattress pulled all the way over me and praying that they would hurry up. And the other girl at the time, she was calling on the cell phone and was getting the same. And it's just not right. I don't want Tammy to die in vain. She was a hero. And people need to know that our 911 system isn't working. And something needs to change. I don't know who moved it to Kelowna, but it's not right. 911, answer it. First ring it should be. Yeah, basically it was right about here where she got shot. She kind of went back a bit and then collapsed to the floor. I tried to see if she was still breathing, and when I did, she was. And that's when the 911 started. And all she was doing was trying to help somebody else. Like, I don't know what this Learn's history is, but something snapped. They cleaned up pretty good. I don't know, I think there's a little spot somewhere that I just left because, but maybe not. I threw out all my blankets because they were on her bed. Some of them were a little stained. I just didn't want to look at them anymore. Like I say, she was my roommate, my best friend, my co-worker. we had all our stuff like mixed together. I had to go through it all to give back to her ex-husband and her parents. And that was hard. Still to this day, I can't sleep in here by myself unless my boyfriend's here. It was over like this to hold this closed, and you can still see where it's was kicked in so that he could come in. And this door doesn't lock at all. And we kept saying we're gonna get a deadbolt for the inside, but we never did. Might have helped. I don't know if it would have or not, but he was standing basically where I'm standing, and she was going towards him to try and protect her girlfriend because apparently this man had beaten her girlfriend, and that's why her girlfriend was here with us. Because I'll help anybody I can. And it's just not right. It's just not right. When she first got shot, I seen the first one fly over here. And this is where forensics have marked the first shell, because I remember it sitting there as we were getting told to leave out the door, and I pointed to it. This one over here, I don't remember this one. I think it fell out of his pocket. If you look here, they've marked this too. I think maybe after he shot Tammy, he got scared and that fell out of his pocket. But I was told by the RCMP that he came with 3 shotgun shells, and there was 3 of us here. Well, once they got here, there was 2 or 3 officers already attending to Tammy, and the officer that had the dog turned around and handed it to the other witness, which was more hysterical than me because it was her boyfriend that shot Tammy. And then the officer kind of gave me a push into the bedroom to get shoes on. And as he did that, the dog bit me. And I felt it at the time, but then everything that was going on, it didn't click. And then when I was sitting in the witness room, I'm like, wow, my butt's sore. And I went and put my hand down because I had pajamas on, and I came back and my hand was full of blood. First thing I thought is, oh, I got shot too. But then I remembered her having the dog and him biting me. And then I started thinking, well, why did she have the dog? That's for a trained officer to control. Like, I understand it was chaotic and everything, but still, I mean, he should have kept that dog under control. And as he handed it to her, he said, oh, she won't bite. Guess what? She bites. This is Tammy here when she graduated. But if you ask me, she was way prettier than this picture portrays. This is her obituary. She's going to be missed by a lot of people. She touched a lot of people's lives. And all for good. Because she touched the heart of me and many friends of mine. Our grandchildren, my kids. My daughter and granddaughter called her auntie. That's how close we were. We could talk about everything. And how dare he take her away? All because of his girlfriend. Didn't want to be with him no more. What a hero. What a hero. I'll never forget that night, ever, as long as I live. It's been almost a month and still hurts every day. I don't wish this ever on anybody. So maybe talking out, maybe we can change things. and save somebody's life next time. Because 911 being busy is not acceptable. Like, you know, maybe it wouldn't have helped my Tammy if they would have got here earlier, but it sure would have helped us to feel more secure and safe with the system. It's just, it's ridiculous. 911's an emergency number and you should be able to get a hold of them whenever. It shouldn't be a busy signal, ever. I mean, who knows what it could have been or what they could have prevented if they would have been here sooner.
Have you or someone you know had a bad 911 experience? Tell us about it in the comments below.